All right, so let's get into the 5 main mistakes I've made in business since I started years ago. Cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially in just lost profit, paying back customers, and of course, lost revenue and just the mental capacity of dealing with this POSs and everything. So let's get right into it. Number one, absolutely 100% biggest mistake I've made as a contractor in business is hiring bad subcontractors. Basically, costing me tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue, paying back customers. Man, let me tell you. Now, most of it's my fault. I've not, when I first started out, man, the most unreliable people I've ever met are subcontractors. Before I was licensed, I hired a builder with the builder's license. I'm using air quotes, and he was the most unreliable person I ever met. One of those guys that shows up in like a Geo Metro, doesn't have any tools or anything like that, but he knows somebody who can do the work, which is fine. The job got done. A 4-day job got done in about 4 weeks. It got done, but obviously, my reputation with my client took a hit. Absolutely just ridiculously so much delays in time just because he just lied out through his teeth about certain things and just timing and everything. But man, I usually start out now. I have some good subcontractors now, but last year, the year before, I did some serious purging, and to the tune of, I think, like probably a half a dozen to a dozen subcontractors that no longer work with me for multiple reasons, mostly because of quality of work not showing up. I took a vacation last year to Alaska, and man, it was a great vacation, but most things I remember about that vacation are the fact that I had to deal with the subcontractor not showing up, not doing their job while I was on vacation. It's not fun. I would not recommend it to anybody. That's just the way that I had it built out, and it just didn't work out. They just sucked as a subcontractor, as a contractor in general, just ridiculous. So hiring the wrong people is the biggest mistake you can make. It's costing you a bunch of money, so you got to vet them. Now, as far as vetting, small job, see how they handle it. If they're, we have big subcontractor agreements now. So, but I didn't have it back in the day, and most of it last year I did. But sometimes I let it slide if it's small jobs. Didn't care. Now, any job over $1,000, you're getting a subcontractor agreement, holding your feet to the fire for everything. And so much mental load just dealing with subcontractors not showing up, not doing their job, and it just takes away from my family time, takes away from everything else, different jobs and everything. So 100%, number one, these aren't really in order except for this one. This one's definitely the biggest mistake I've made in business in general, and that's hiring the wrong people. That's as easy a way as I can put it. Number two, absolutely overbooking myself, saying yes to too many jobs at one time. Bane of my existence for 2023. I did not book any new work, sign any new contracts from September 2023 to basically March of 2024. I was just trying to get jobs closed out. I already had plenty of work on the books. Our contract signed, did not book any new work, did not approve any new estimates from September to March, basically. So I was just trying to get work done. But that was one of my biggest. Now, I've done that before where I've overbooked, had to be like 5 different places at one time. It is not fun. All you're going to do is make your customers mad. Don't do it. Under promise and over deliver. Just book one job. If you think it's going to take a day, make sure you block off at least a day and a half, 2 days for that job. If it's within reason, of course, if you're just hanging a TV or running one line, even running one line for whatever it is, it could change or turn into whatever. Like, you could turn into days or even weeks depending on the job at hand. Number 3, saying yes to the wrong customers and not vetting customers correctly or at all, depending on the job itself. That is one of my most bane of my existence kind of things. With most of these this whole list is basically my bane of my existence. But like, I'm getting sued right now with small claims court by one customer that it's completely out of, not even remotely close to anything that's covered in my contract whatsoever, is why I declined to pay for him doing his own work on his own house kind of thing. But completely flew under the radar, super red flags once we're there. Even my subcontractors, the good ones that I've been talking, that I have, they're like, we're getting super serial killer vibes here kind of thing. And man, it is definitely bit me in the butt working with the wrong customers. You can need a clear scope of work. I would say my contract's pretty good for everything. I try to list out all the scope of work I can, but for some reason, Some customers make me want to add paragraphs to my contract because certain things, they have unrealistic expectations, not even expectations that I set, but I mean, they saw it on Google, they saw it on, Home and Garden TV, whatever it was, but for some reason they think they can get a whole house remodel done in like 2.5 weeks with permits and everything. So I need to vet, and I've done it before and I'm doing it now. I vet customers seriously. Not every customer or not every person who reach out to you for work is your customer. Some of them are just tire kickers. Some of them don't even know what they want, and a lot of them you probably don't even want to work for, or at least some of them you don't want to work for. That being said, there's a lot of good people out there that just need jobs done. They just want to find somebody who actually returns phone calls and gets the job done, and you want to be that kind of person. But number 3, absolutely 150%, I need to vet customers better. I have been doing that, but in the years past, it's bitten me in the butt. Oh man, so many. Like I'm just kicking myself in the butt right now because there's so many times where I just said yes and I kind of knew after the fact, and even during, I was like, this is going to be a pain in the butt, but it's nice having the money. The money's usually almost not, if not always, not worth the hassle with these customers. And obviously collecting the final payment, so hard. Like I'd say like 60% of my time is consumed with the last like 15% of a job for some reason. And I'm trying to get that in line, but for some reason it's everything. They think they're never going to see you again, and they want to make sure. I've had customers request a bunch of work, and I have to go back to the contract and say, hey, in the scope of work, this isn't covered, so we can do it, or I'm most likely I decline to do it because, for one, I need to get off the job site to get on to the next job, and 2, it's just I'm not doing free work anymore. Number 4 is offering too many services. When I started out, I think most people probably do this. It's not a crazy bad thing, but it really nipped me in the butt because I was overbooking and also not nearly as efficient as I could be with if I just niched down a little bit and offered 3 or 4 services. If you're doing a bunch of services, it's really hard. You're going to need a lot of tools, a lot of materials, and obviously a lot of know-how, but you're not as efficient and thus not making as much money and not making as good a use of your time if you only did 3 or 4 tasks that you got down pat, and you can just knock them right out, and you can maybe do 3 or 4 of those jobs a day. Just really, like force multiply your day and your time. But being the fact that I was offering so much, then I was getting so many leads. Leads take time to respond, estimates, etc. And I was not, and still am not, the best at everything, of course. Yeah, I accumulated a bunch of tools for everything, but then I wasn't as good as I could have been using those tools. You have to find a place for those tools, and if you lose them, you got to go buy new ones. It's a vicious cycle. But mistake number 4 is definitely offering too many services because, man, it costs me making mistakes, redoing it. And there's times where I've done something and then made a mistake, and I said, just, bleep it. I'm just going to hire somebody. I hired somebody to take care of it. Done and done. Didn't make any money, but the job got done. Absolutely one of the most crucial things that I would have changed when I was just starting out, or even now. Well, not now, but I mean, just not offering every service under the sun. I don't need to do everything, and I don't want to do everything. Number 5 is not charging enough and also doing free services when I shouldn't be doing free services. So when I first started out, everybody should, you watch some of my videos. Yeah, you're going to want to raise your prices right away. And I was pretty cheap when I first started out, like most people are, but I think I should have raised my prices a lot sooner than I did, and also not do free services, just, trying to be nice. There's no nice guys in business. It's always for profit. You're in business to make money and make a good profit. Profit is not a bad word. I would definitely recommend you guys know your numbers, your day rates, and just go off of that. Mark up everything. Materials, I don't care what it is. Period. If you're going to acquire that material, buy it, and then, install it at a customer's house, it needs to have a 20% markup. Plus, like some things I have 300 or 400 or 500% markup. HDMIs I have I think I get them for like $3 and I sell them for $15 or $20. So what is that? Come on. So certain things are everything gets a markup, and at least 20%, especially if I'm handling it. Plus I charge. It's in my contract. I'll link a link in the description here, you guys, if you want to buy my contract. It's in my contract. I charge delivery fees. It's called a material acquisition fee as well. And if I have to go to Menards to pick anything up, it's additional fee because Menards is not really close to where I live. Plus, their return policy is not efficient. Let's just put it that way. So I got to charge extra for that. It's a minimum of like $150 for that kind of stuff, just paying for my time. So I steer customers away from it. But Menards materials and their products are fantastic. I will not. I mean, for what it is, they're fantastic for what they are, their price point and everything. But I don't want to return anything. Like I'll throw away if I'm buying stuff from Menards and it's something small, it's not worth my time. I'll just throw it away or keep it or give it away or something. It's just not worth my time going back there, sitting in line, going and getting somebody, have them coming around back. It's not worth it. So you need to mark up every material you sell to a customer. If you have to touch, if you are doing something for a customer and touching it, physically moving something, you need to be charging for it. You charge for everything, charge for your time. Not there, as long as you have a clear scope of work for and everything on the job. So if it's a bigger job, you have a clear scope of work of everything. There's no such thing as nickeling diming if it's outside that scope of work, within reason, of course. I'm not going, if somebody's going to give me $20,000-$30,000 and there's something off my tool trailer or in my truck that's like a $5 thing, I'm not going up to him and like handing him a change order for $5. I'll probably just assume that cost, no big deal, because I've already charged him for it. I've already charged him for the fee for credit card processing, everything. No ifs, ands, or buts. You need to be charging for everything when you're doing business as a contractor or as a handyman. Three, two, one. And as a bonus, guys, real quick, not a crazy big mistake, but still a mistake nonetheless. I should have branded and should have made my business right when I first started out. Just branding yourself, making yourself look professional. I don't care what it said. I know there's guys out there like, hey, just a white van, don't stay incognito, blah, blah, blah. I absolutely get work and also get more work because of my branding, because I offer, you can pay with a credit card. Just accept credit cards and add that cost into your estimate. Don't even tell them about it. It's just part of your markup. I mean, honestly, you guys, just be professional. It pays dividends. It absolutely, looking and being professional absolutely pays dividends, and I should have done it a lot sooner. Another mistake. There it is. Ah! You're on camera.
I know.